During this Black History Month, we would like to present this story from 10 years ago to honor a very special individual. Through his efforts, he taught us the value of service to others, regardless of the cost. His name was James O Jessie, and he is a valuable part of our desert past.
Well, understand who James O Jessie was. He was instrumental in bringing programs, activities, things for the youth in his community.
Father, mentor, coach. These are just a few of the words used to describe James Oliver Jessie, the former director of Parks and Recreation to the city of Palm Springs. To his friends, he was Big Jess. The kids, he was Uncle James.
He was really the true embodiment of the statement that if you're going to be a leader of your community, you must first be a servant of your community. So his passion was serving, and at-risk youth was his passion to serve.
The focus of Jessie's guidance was the children of the Desert Highland Unity Center at the north end of Palm Springs. Uncle James was the director of the center.
My dad took it upon himself to be a father to all the kids in the community who didn't have a father. Fatherless kids was an epidemic in our community that we grew up in. So my dad took it upon himself and challenged other men like him to step up and be a force in the lives of these young boys and girls who needed a positive force.
He says, well, I'm here for the kids. I keep these doors open to keep the kids off the streets. And it's better that they're in here with me than out there doing drugs and with the pushers.
It wasn't just the children of the center that benefited from his influence. Jessie's passion for coaching youth sports allowed him to impact the lives of many young baseball and softball players of the valley.
People always felt comfortable talking to him, and you could always talk to him, and that was a cool thing. But I think one of the things that I like about Coach Jessie is just the things that I recall, is his love for family, his love for his kids, and for community, which, you don't forget.
Sharing the riches of his culture was also important to James Jessie. He was therefore instrumental in organizing the Palm Springs Black History Parade and Town Fair, which continues to run every February. James Jessie was not only respected and admired by the city of Palm Springs, he was also quite beloved, which makes the events of August 12, 2000 that much more heartbreaking.
Every year, he'd take a group of at-risk young men from the neighborhood on fishing trips. These were generally kids who didn't get any kind of outside exposure outside the neighborhood. So he took it upon himself to expose them to things outside the community.
On this particular fishing trip, a young boy fell out of the boat.
I couldn't swim. I didn't know the current was going to be that strong, which it wasn't until a couple of boats came over there, stirring up the current. And as soon as I drifted off out there, I was like, whoa, I don't know what's gonna happen after this. Yeah, he, no hesitation, just jumped in right after me.
James was able to get young Julius McAfee safely to shore. Unfortunately, he was not able to save himself. James Oliver Jessie died that day doing the one thing that he loved most, helping others.
If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be here today. So, really helpful, really thankful.
Because of James' courageous and selfless act, his family was presented with the Medal of Valor at his funeral.
He's a hero. He is definitely a hero. I feel that he's my son's guardian angel. There's nothing I can say that can bring James back, so we love him. We love him dearly.
Julius still lives in the Highland Park community he grew up in. Today, he is the father of two small children, a little girl and a young boy named James. Well, it's been a decade since the passing of James Oliver Jessie. The Unity Center still stands here along Tramview Road in Palm Springs, but with one very noticeable change. It is now known as the James O Jessie Desert Highland Unity Center.
He was a man of genuine concern and integrity. His first, primary, if not only, concern were the children he served. He was a remarkable human being, and I thought it was appropriate, as the council did, to name the center in his honor.
Jarvis Crawford, a protege of James, who first entered these doors as a college intern, is the center's director. Jarvis and the staff of the center honor their friend's memory in the best way possible by making sure that the children are cared for.
They're able to have a place to come to during the day as well as the afternoons, so that way they're not stuck at home. They're able to get some information when they come to the community center. They're able to take advantage of weight exercise programs we have here. And it's like let's call it a mecca for the community.
I have a son, James Jessie III. I bring him back to take a look at it also, to show him. So it's a big thrill for me just to see the sign with his name on it every time. It's something I go back and see every time I'm back in this community.
James was honored again with the city's inclusion of the Black History Awards as an annual event. Not only was the Lifetime Achievement Award named after James, the first one was presented to his family for his outstanding service to the community.
It's a very worthy occasion, and I hope that it would be something that would continue to grow and get bigger, and as far as it being well known, and that we would never forget James O. Outstanding Jessie.
James O. Jessie's legacy continues with the Palm Springs Black History Parade, which will take place Saturday, February 26th at 10 a.m. For Our Desert Past, I'm Steve Sumrall, NBC Palm Springs.